Welcome to Maker's Edge. We are Waco's premier do-it-yourself workshop and prototyping studio. That means you can come in and build whatever you want, and we'll help you along the way. I want to walk you through the different tools we have, and we're going to start in the woodworking shop. In here, once you join up, you will have the ultimate wood shop, right? You're going to have access to all these tools, a big old sliding compound miter saw, various Craig's jigs and routers and such. You have a 13-inch planer. Back in the back, you've got a jointer. You've got a huge table saw. You've got an 18-inch band saw. And then the big boy in the room is the 4-foot by 8-foot CNC router. So with this thing, we'll teach you how you can program this bit to mill out your project. And sometimes that could be something that's compound contoured like a surfboard, and it's just whittling it back and forth to carve out the shape. Or it could be that you do something like some furniture. I'm going to show you some flat pack furniture. That's furniture built from plywood, where we just downloaded the plans for this, and we just fabricated out of sheets of plywood and glued it together. So it's very easy to go from not knowing how to use the tool to downloading projects that already work, and you can already produce something. This is the main assembly area, and kind of the shops around the edge have the detail parts and the specialized parts. Over here is your tool wall. That's where all your hand tools are kept, powered and otherwise. And now I'm going to take you back, and we're going to walk you through the metal shops. That includes the machine shop as well as the weld shop. So in here you have a vertical mill with digital readout for precision milling. You've got a lathe over here, various sheet metal tools and compressed air. And then we come back here in the back. This is the weld shop. So this is where you have your welders. You can start off on the MIG welder. That's the point and shoot, easy way to start. When you get real advanced and you want to do something more complex like aluminum, chromoly steel, stainless steel, you're going to want to use the TIG welder. You may also notice that you've got a spot welder underneath that bench there. So kind of all that you could hope for. You can learn how to use them here and build your parts. You've got an oxyacetylene rig, and then back you've got a plasma cutter. And as if a hand plasma cutter wasn't good enough, the members decided they wanted something more involved, so they designed and built a CNC table for it. So the hand plasma cutter plugs into the CNC table, and it lets you do complex cuts out of sheet metal like this, where you're cutting out letters or shapes. Part of the class is for using that CNC plasma cutter is training you how to use the software. So really just after learning how to use a simple art desktop drawing program or a simple 2D CAD program, you can be fabricating your own CNC plasma cut parts. We're going to peek in on the art studio back here. So back in the art or craft area, we have a few more digital tools. We've got a couple of vinyl cutters or CNC draw knives. We have a 13-inch with a camera. Then we have the big 34-inch. We also have a heat press. So one of the things a lot of times you're cutting on those vinyl cutters is a heat press vinyl that you can put on a t-shirt or any textile. If you're going to make a lot of t-shirts though, you're going to want to use this 4-color t-shirt press. We have several silk screens over here. We'll show you the process for how to actually fabricate those silk screens. It's kind of an interesting process. It uses a photo emulsion, but it gets amazing detail. Kind of on the back wall, you'll notice we've got a few other things tucked in there. We've got an airbrush, and then we've got a serger. We also have a sewing machine back there, so we can also help you get set up on those. All in all, we've got about a dozen classes on how to use the tools in this space. That all comes as a part of your membership because we want everyone to have access to all the tools in the space. We want you to be able to build with the materials that are best for what you want to do and focus on the projects. Here we're walking through the pottery studio. We've got 6 pottery wheels as well as a table for doing flat slab work. Like all good projects, they get fueled by caffeine and sugar, so you feel free to use the kitchen to make whatever you need to finish out your projects. Now we're going to peek in on the CAD room, the computer room. So as you can imagine, all of these computer-controlled machines require software in order to drive them. This is where we teach you how to use the software. And really, it's not a huge challenge. For instance, our 3D printer class or our desktop CNC router class. Those are all 1-hour classes. And we teach you the software, and then we teach you the operation of the tool. You won't be an expert, but you'll be good enough that you can start to use the tool, and you can do it in a way where you're not going to hurt yourself, and you can start to build experience. The neat thing is you can build experience quick in this space because everyone else is learning too. So it's a great place for mentoring and teaching. Here we're peeking in on the electronics bay. We've got various power supplies, oscilloscopes. We've got an SMD soldering station, pretty well set up there, as well as just another area for working small parts. And we've even got a lead pot for doing low temp metals. Back in the back there, you can see we've got a kiln. We fire once a week. And this brings us up to our digital fab area. So up here we have the classic 3D printers. We've got the most popular tool in the space, the laser cutter and engraver. Does incredible work, etching very, very fine detail, and it's very easy to use. We've got 12 to 73 years old. You'll use this machine routinely, and I'll let you guess which is harder to teach. Over here we've got some desktop units. We have a desktop CNC router. This is just like the big router that we saw in the first room. This is just a little bit easier to teach, and that's our prerequisite class. Our classes are set up very much in a college kind of fashion where you have 100 level classes that are your intros, and you work up to 200 level classes that are more complex. So very much a space focused on teaching. The last tool that I'll mention here is the desktop metal mill. So with this you can do much the same as the CNC router, what it does on wood and plastic and softer materials, but it's designed to work for metal materials. I invite you to come by and see the space. As much as I've shown you now, I've skipped over tons of things. And really the real value of this place is having staff here to help you, having new friends, and getting to know experts that are creative themselves. So come on down to 18th and Austin and visit Maker's Edge.